Hello, everyone. This is Tony, co-founder and CEO of Shoppe Black. Today, I'm joined by Nailah Ellis-Brown, the CEO of Ellis Infinity Beverage Company. How are you doing today, Nailah?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for joining us. So, Ellis Island Tea, the largest Black woman-owned beverage company in the United States. How does it feel to hear that?
Well, for one, I have a slight correction. I'm the largest Black female beverage manufacturer in the country.
Okay.
So there are other Black-owned beverage companies, but as far as on the manufacturing side,
yeah, you're the manufacturer.
I just happen to be the largest, and it feels, I don't know, it's like a wow factor. When I first learned that I was the largest Black female beverage manufacturer in the country, for one, I just would have never thought. It's like, no, there's got to be somebody bigger. There's got to be there's got to be more of us playing in this space.
Sure.
And yeah, said two things. One, wow, I'm honored, and then two, we got a lot of work to do.
That's a fact. That is a fact. So that being said, tell us about your company. Where does the name come from? Start there.
So Ellis Island Tea is a company that I started by dropping out of college 12 years ago. So my original plan was to go to college and get a business degree and then work a very high paying job on Wall Street. And I would work that job for a couple of years and save every dime that I made. And then I would quit that job and go after my true dream of entrepreneurship. And so freshman year, first semester, I realized how student loans work, and I would have graduated north of $100,000 in debt. And that part just didn't sit well with me. So I figured, you know what? I was like 19 at the time. I was young enough to leave school and change my mind and come back if it didn't work out. I knew deep down inside that I wasn't coming back, but it was just something that I could say to ease the minds of my loved ones, because it just sounded crazy, like you're leaving college to sell tea on the street. Like, that doesn't sound secure. So the recipe was passed down by my great-grandfather, who's a Jamaican immigrant who came into America through Ellis Island in the early 1900s. And he was actually one of the head chefs for Marcus Garvey's Black Star line. Oh, wow. And we named it Ellis Island Tea for two reasons. One, that's how my great-grandfather came into America. And then for two, my maiden name is Ellis, and we just felt it was, meant to be. Yeah. And so I started the company as a college dropout and just built the whole thing. And I'm still building on trial and error. No experience, just a passion for freedom, and my freedom is entrepreneurship, and also a passion to carry on my family legacy.
That's amazing. So you mentioned dropping out of college to start your business. What, apart from the fact that you would have graduated with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, was there anything else that prompted that decision? And how easy was that decision, or hard was it to make?
It was a very hard decision because of how I was trained by society. So society says to achieve the American dream, which is true freedom, you have to go to school, get really good grades, do your best to get a scholarship, go to college, get a degree, and then get a job. That was not a path that I just felt, not a path that I felt was right for me. And it was a big decision to go against the grain and just go after what I felt was the right way to accomplish my freedom. Sure. It was very scary because I was so young, because it's like, well, what if I'm wrong? What if this instinct or this gut feeling that I have, what if it's not leading me correctly? And so, yeah, it was scary, but why not? And I just went for it.
That's great. So you went for it. You started off selling or making tea in your mom's basement and selling it out of the trunk of your car, Masterpiece style.
Yep. Yep. And then fast forward a little bit, landed my first grocery account. Whole Foods was, a really big deal for us. And then from there, fast forward a little more, we've been in major retailers. We've been on the shelves of major retailers across the country, not consistently though, but we've been on the shelves of Kroger, Meijer, Whole Foods, Sam's Club, Costco. We've been on the shelves of some major players. However, one of the biggest pain points of our consumers has been the lack of accessibility. And so I get a lot of national media attention. And so people will see me on an interview and then they get really excited and they want to go support, and they'll go into these stores all over the country like Sam's Club or Costco, or they'll see, you know, breaking news, we're rolling out into some new account, some major account, and they go there and they can't find it. And that's due to the fact that it's always like specific locations in specific regions. And it's hard to reach the consumers. Everybody wants to try the product, but if you can't get it to their hands, then what do you do? So we spent we put a lot of energy towards revamping our website and focusing on e-commerce. We changed our packaging. And so now our product is actually accessible nationwide. And so our e-com sales have gone through the roof. Of course, a lot of that help came from Kevin Hart, my most recent investor. And we're in some very exciting times and currently experiencing high growth.
That's great. So back up a little bit here. So your first account was with Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. How did you establish that relationship?
So with Whole Foods, I literally just walked into a store. There was a Whole Foods in Michigan, and I just walked in and I saw a guy putting beverages in the beverage cooler. And then I figured I would start there. I just walked up to him. I had some of my tea in my hands, and I was trembling. Like, my hands were shaking. I was so nervous. And because I'm like, he's probably going to laugh at me. I probably looked really stupid. I felt stupid, but I wanted Whole Foods. So I just walked up to him and asked him, well, you guys talk a lot about supporting local. And I'm looking in the beverage cooler. I don't see any beverages that are made in Detroit. And, you know, I'm a Detroit beverage maker. What does it take for me to get my product on the shelf? It's really good. And I brought some samples for you. You should try it. And he took the bottle and he looked at it and he laughed. And he's like, first of all, you don't even I didn't have a barcode on my label. I didn't have nutrition facts. It just said Ellis Island Tea. It was like a flyer that we were taping to bottles. That was my first label. And so he's like, you got a lot of work to do. And then you got to make it to the application. So the Whole Foods application is like this thick. And it's just full of, it took me like a year to fill it out. And so long story short, made it through and got on my first Whole Foods shelf. And my first sale from a major retailer like Whole Foods was 1 crate of tea. We were still selling it in crates, 12 bottles of tea. And I was ecstatic. You couldn't tell me anything. And so, yeah, that was how I got my first shot at a major retailer.
Okay. So who came after Whole Foods and how did you get there? Was like the next one, like in terms of scale, was that, okay, you like 1 crate in Whole Foods, was the next one like 12 crates and somewhere else, or?
The next scale was all of Whole Foods in Michigan. And then from there, I don't really remember the order of all of the major retailers, but it seemed like we got a huge spike, I'm going to say about 2 years ago, when MSNBC came in and did a makeover on the company. And that's when we landed Sam's Club. And Sam's Club has been a huge one. We're still on the shelves there in the Southern California region. And they're working with us very closely to expand into national long-term distribution with them. And so, yeah, we just, wherever there was opportunity, we did a lot of, and still do a lot of cold calling. And as of late, there's been a lot of interest since Beyonce posted us on her social media and website on Juneteenth. There's been a lot of, these major accounts are starting to reach out to us versus me having to chase everybody and prove myself. That feels really good. Can't deny that. And that's different for us.
No, that's great. Now, speaking of support, you're based in Detroit. Speak on the support that you received from the community, kind of like even from like when you started until like where you are now.
So from when I started, the main support that I've always gotten, that I still get, is that everybody in the community loves the tea. Like the flavor, whenever I start to lose sight of the product itself and I get so caught up in business and trying to evolve and grow as a company and all of my missions, it's like at the end of the day, hey, it's just tea, and it happens to taste really good. And that's what the community does a really good job of reminding me of. Hey, it's just tea, and it tastes really, really good. And so that is the biggest form of support that I've received from the community. And then as far as just help wherever I need, I get a lot of, if you need anything, I've got experience I got a whole C-suite out of some native Detroiters who just came in and they understood. I was a very small business. I'm still small, but I was really, really small at the time. And I did not have a budget to pay, a C-suite. And I needed leadership. I needed a co-CEO. I needed a COO, someone who could run operations and get me out of the plant. And that all came from the community. And it just seems like help just comes, and it comes in the form of people showing up and rolling up their sleeves and just ready to work and get in where they fit in. Community has been great to us.
So obviously building a team, an effective team, is extremely key and important to a business's success. You can't do everything on your own, right?
Oh, no. I think that's part of what has taken me so long to get to a point. Like, I'm starting to hear a lot, oh, she's an overnight success, that's so amazing. I've been doing this for 12 years. And for a majority of those years, it was me doing everything. Like when I opened up the production operation, I wore every hat, which is not possible, but somehow, that's what entrepreneurs do. We figure it out. We do the impossible. And when people ask, well, how did you do that? I don't know. You just kind of figure it out. So when I started, I was the only person. Like right now, we've got like 10 people out there running the line. When we started, it was me on the line, me answering all the calls, I had a newborn. I was trying to breastfeed, take breaks from production to breastfeed. It was me making all the sales calls. I was wearing literally all the hats. And so it took me, that's a really hard way of doing things, and it takes a lot longer, but it wasn't my choice to do everything on my own. I just, got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, definitely. And is your family involved in the business in any type of way?
Yeah. My co-parent, he's full-time with us now. He started out teaching full-time and then came on full board with the beverage company. So we do everything together. As far as the beverage company, he is very hands-on and helpful with that. And then I've got some other family members who are currently onboarding in other departments as well. So very exciting.
No, that's great. So the recent investment from Kevin Hart, amazing, great publicity, great marketing. He obviously has a huge following. And like, what was the immediate response once you announced it? And then once I guess y'all had like an IG live where he broke it down or formally announced their relationship. How did that go?
So we got a huge spike in our online sales. We were not expecting the spike to be as large as it was. And sales started going crazy. And he hasn't even really gotten started yet on all of his involvement on the marketing side. Sure. And so we got a lot more inquiries from some major retailers that I can't disclose just yet, but 2020 it's looking like we're going to close it out with a bang and then go into 2021 with an even bigger bang. So it's literally like, these are the times that I used to cry myself to sleep begging for. These are like the busy, like now I'm trying to keep up with myself, and I'm loving every bit of it. I'm really enjoying this ride.
That's great. So how did you meet him? How did that relationship come about? And obviously don't speak on what you can't speak on, but can you tell us some details of how the partnership is going to work? Or
So how I met Kevin was the same way that I ended up landing Whole Foods, like just taking it back to the beginning with my first account. I had this desire and just walked into the store and figured it out. Like I literally have built this whole company on just trying stuff. and whatever works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, try something else.
Right.
And so how I met Kevin was a few days before Christmas. I jumped on a plane and went to California, and I told my family, and I felt crazy saying this, I'm going to California and I'm not coming back until I have landed a partnership and investment from Kevin Hart.
Wow.
I did not know that 4 days later I would be sitting across the table from Kevin. Literally got a one-on-one meeting with Kevin within 3 to 4 days after I landed. I got on a plane with no hotel accommodations, no plans for anything other than to meet Kevin Hart. And I said, I'll figure it out when I get there. And so the connection was that his bodyguard happens to be from Detroit. And I just started putting it out there to everybody I know. I want Kevin Hart. I want to meet Kevin Hart. I want to partner with him. He would be a great person to partner with. A friend of a friend is really good friends with Kevin Hart's bodyguard, who happens to be from Detroit. And we just connected, his bodyguard and I on the level of just both being from Detroit. Sure. And so he mentioned that he said, I'm not going to promise you anything, but I'll mention it to him and we'll see where that goes. And so he mentioned it to Kevin, and then he said, yeah, let's set up the meeting. And next, I was sitting across the table from Kevin Hart. And so his involvement, first of all, really down to earth, amazing guy. His energy is amazing. He never stops. He never slows down. His energy is electric, and he's always like moving, and meetings with him are like, you got like 5 minutes because he's got 1,000,001 things to do. And so when he tried the product, first of all, he tried the new Caribbean Punch, which we just announced on the IG Live with Kevin, and we're going to be releasing that to subscribers only this Friday. And this is a product that is near and dear to my heart because it is 0 added sugar, 100% plants in a bottle, and it's extremely healthy. It's certified low GI, which means it's good for type 2 diabetes. Mm-hmm. It's great for hydration. It's way better than Gatorade and a lot of other things that are on the market. And it's literally plants and water in a bottle. And it's sweet, but it's no added sugar. And we're sweetening with cane grass. We're taking grass and sweetening the tea. Now with me sweetening with grass, that may sound like it's not going to taste good. It tastes amazing, and I wish I would have captured Kevin Hart's reaction when he tasted it. And so when he tried it, he's like, "So you mean to tell me this is sweetened with grass?" And so I'm like, "Yeah, it's literally plants and grass." And he's like, "All right, I'm in." And then he invests. Like, we came to an agreement, and he decided to invest on site within 15 minutes of meeting me. And his involvement is going to be on the marketing side, and he's committed to just introducing this product to the world. He loves the health benefits, he loves the taste, and so that's what his involvement is going to be, helping us on the marketing and product awareness side.
Nice. Are you allowed to say the amount that was invested, or no?
That part we're not disclosing. Okay. It was a substantial amount.
Okay. Yeah. You knew I was going to ask. Yeah. So you mentioned grass. Are you talking about sugar cane?
Yep, cold pressed cane grass, sugar cane grass.
Yeah. So I remember, like, in Nigeria, we would like peel off I don't even know what it's called, the shaft, or peel off the other layer and just like chew
it. Yep. Yeah. And it's so sweet, and it's so good, and it's grass, and it's healthy, and that's actually what cane sugar is made from. So cane sugar is made from sugar cane. And a lot of people, you'd be surprised how many people have never heard of sugar cane and don't know that it is a grass, and that is super healthy. And just like granulated over-processed sugar causes diabetes and is killing a lot of us, especially in the Black community, it's the grass that the sugar is made from that is good for type 2 diabetes. Like it's like opposite effects.
Wow. So you're basically almost a health company at the same time.
Yep.
That's dope. Okay. So going back to scaling, you're also in airports as well. I forgot to.
Yep. Airport concessions. And right now, the airport concession industry is heavily affected. by the pandemic, and there's a lot less travel, and a lot of the concessions are not open during these times.
Sure.
But when that does, we are in about 15 or 16 airports. And so as those start to fully open back up, the product and other products as well will be more accessible in the airport.
Nice. So would you say the greatest impact that the pandemic has had was around the airport side of things, or are there other areas?
As far as the effect on our business?
Business, yeah.
No, the greatest impact has been through online sales, and our retail sales have shot through the roof. So it's gone up for us. It's been a very positive effect.
No, that's great. So that just speaks to the importance of having an e-commerce system in place for times like this, or just even if there is no pandemic, a basic thing is to have some type of e-commerce system.
That's the way the world is going, and I feel like the pandemic just caused us to speed that up. Yeah. It's definitely becoming the new norm.
Wow. Okay. So in wrapping up, where do you see the business in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see Ellis Island tea, Jamaican sweet tea, and Caribbean punch being offered to and truly being accessible all over the country. And we may have some international distribution by then. Right now, we are accessible through our website, ellisislandtea.com, but on the brick and mortar, like on the retail side, I see us being nationally distributed in major chains like Target, Costco, Sam's Club, Whole Foods, Walmart. We got a lot is in the works right now.
No, it sounds like it. So one of my favorite books is The Magic of Thinking Big. And obviously, if you're at the stage where you are now, I can tell that's the mindset that you have as well. You don't like shortchange yourself. You're always like, okay, how big can I go? Where can I take this? Could you speak to the importance of having a certain type of attitude and how that is so key in business, like whether it's a positive attitude, whether it's not blocking out negative opinions of others and kind of believing in yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to truly understand and truly take in how far we've come, despite all of the doubt. And what I've had to train myself and to realize and accept is that, hey, it's not personal. When people are doubting you, it's not that they don't believe in you. It's just these are not real realities that they see possible for themselves based on their life experiences. Mm-hmm. And so over the years, I have taught myself to not take doubt personal, because it's not personal. And despite all of the negativity, I always choose to go with my gut and go with my instinct and just in that burning desire inside of me to win. And my definition of winning is not just me being, the largest Black female beverage manufacturer in the country. It's providing jobs for people who look like me. Mm-hmm. It's providing opportunities for people who look like me. And it's like, and even just sitting in this office, and I'm like, I feel like I want to turn the camera around just to show you. I'm just very proud.
Do it.
I'm very proud of the amount of jobs that we have created in making tea. And most of our staff is made up of returning or re-entering citizens, people who don't get a second chance. And they work really, really hard. And I'm just so proud. We've got like 10 people out here right now.
Wow.
Got equipment. Got a photographer over here. Got some promo going.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, sir?
That's the founder of Shoppe Black.
Oh,
yeah, got a whole crew out here and growing.
That looks amazing. That looks truly amazing. All right, so I'm glad you did that.
Okay, I can hear you now.
No, that was amazing. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, of course.
So in wrapping up for real this time, what advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
The advice that I have for aspiring entrepreneurs would be to, for one, my mantra, and I say it to myself every morning: pray like everything depends on God, and work like everything depends on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also always encourage aspiring entrepreneurs to ask themselves the question, versus jumping into entrepreneurship because it's sexy. Ask yourself the question: if there was no such thing as money, but you had to work, what would you do? Like, what would you do for free? Would it be entrepreneurship? Would it be, take a job? Would it be like whatever your freedom is? Like, to me, freedom is something that you would do if money didn't exist. And that's the question that I asked myself before I jumped into this and walked away from college and decided to dedicate my life to this. It took me like 10, 11 years to get on payroll. So I literally did this for free, and I would do it again because I'm very passionate about it, for like 10 years. And so if it is not, like, entrepreneurship is one of the hardest, in my opinion, hardest path that you can take in life. And though it's sexy and you see the glitz and glam and it looks cool, it looks fun, it's a lot of hard work. And so I would just encourage aspiring entrepreneurs to ask yourself the question: if there was no such thing as money, but you had to work, what would you do for free? And if your answer is entrepreneurship, go for it.
No, that's a great question to ask, and that's great advice. So thank you so much, Nailah, for taking the time to speak with us, and you have a great rest of the day. Wish you much more success in the future.
Of course. Thanks again for the opportunity and for having me on.
No problem. Take care. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.